Good afternoon. This is Between the Lines live at SanduskyRegister.com. My name's Matt Westerhold. I'm the managing editor at the Sandusky Register and the host of Between the Lines. And today our program is focusing on Amanda Dean. Amanda's been missing for 5 years and 7 months. And my guests today are Carolyn Tokar, Amanda's mother, who's from Sandusky, and Tracy Tom, a citizen advocate of sorts who's working with Amanda's family to help find Amanda. We're going to meet both of them in just a few moments, but before we do, I want to mention that Between the Lines is brought to you by Serving Our Seniors for Erie County residents age 60 and better. If you need help, call Serving Our Seniors at 419-624-1856. Brandon Adio is producing this segment of Between the Lines. Brandon, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
And Elizabeth Keefe is in our audience. You're out there somewhere. Yes. A reporter with the Register who is here to ask questions and to just keep track of everything. With that, we'll meet our guest. It's Caroline. Is it Caroline?
Yes.
Tokar? Amanda Dean's mother.
Hello.
And Tracy Tom on the end there.
Hello.
A citizen activist. Is that what we call you?
Not an
These? What do we? A citizen advocate.
Yeah.
And you actually brought this story to the attention of the Register.
I did. I was on Facebook and kept seeing a post over and over that people were sharing, and it was Help Find Amanda Dean, and her son Joshua had posted it. So I went to the original page and was reading, and when I got to the sentence that said, "I'm just a boy looking for his mom," I immediately knew that was someone that I needed to help, and so I messaged him right away.
And that is your grandson?
That is.
Joshua.
He's my oldest grandson, yes.
Handsome young man, about 24,
Yes.
and has 2 kids of his own now.
Yes.
And Josh is just a nice person.
Very nice.
He is.
Very nice.
Very impressive young man, and I got the chance to meet him when we were all 3, and your daughter Shannon was with you as well in Cleveland when there was a news conference on January 4th.
Yes.
And that's when it was announced that the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation was going to help find Amanda.
That's correct, yes.
And they're still looking, and so where are we at? I think we're here today to talk about what's happening on Friday, February 3rd, which is Amanda's birthday.
Yes, it is.
Would it be her 42nd birthday?
That's correct. Yeah.
42. And Tracy, you've described this as a peaceful gathering. Why don't you explain? Your words are very good with this.
Okay. So what happened was, in talking to Amanda's mom, she told me the worst day of every year, the last 5 years, was Amanda's birthday. So I thought, okay, we need to. She also expressed to me that each time she would go into the sheriff's office and ask, do you know anything? Have you heard anything? She felt like she didn't matter. She said, he just treated me like I didn't matter. And so I said, okay, we're going to show Carolyn and Shannon and Joshua that Amanda matters, and they matter. And they're not going to be alone on Amanda's birthday. They've been alone every year. No one's listening to them. No one's helping them. No one's doing anything about Amanda being missing. So this year we're going to make a change. And we're going to go and we're going to support that family. And what I said is, a big group hug, essentially. So we want to go. The location will be on public property at the Erie County Sheriff's Office, but we want it peaceful. We want it to be about Amanda. We want to hear friends tell us what their happiest times with Amanda was before she went missing. We want it all about Amanda. We don't want any negativity. We don't want to talk about current investigation, past investigation. It's about Amanda and Amanda's family.
And that is this coming Friday from noon till about 1:30.
Yes.
At the Huron County Sheriff's Office in Norwalk. Do you have the address offhand? We should mention
It's
it.
Shady Lane Drive.
Shady Lane Drive.
Yeah.
It's right behind the hospital.
Fisher Titus?
Titus Hospital.
Okay, so you get and people will know where to go. The Huron County Sheriff's Office at noon on Friday for I want to get a peaceful gathering. Tell us about Cleveland Missing. They've been key to assisting you.
Yes, Cleveland Missing. The founder of Cleveland Missing is Gina DeJesus, which was one of the three girls with the Cleveland kidnapped. They were kidnapped for about a decade.
A decade.
Yeah, and
Held captive.
yeah, they were held captive. Gina decided to make something good out of a bad memory and a bad experience for her, and so she founded with her cousin Sylvia Collin. She's the co-founder, the Cleveland Missing Foundation, and this helps families who have missing loved ones. They help them in any way they can. They have open arms to give them resources, talks.
Benefit of experience.
Yes, and they are awesome. They have opened many, many doors for us.
They've been a great advocate for your family. It's just so good to see someone step up, and this is an organization that's
You're never alone with them.
It's very
And
intentional.
that is, to me, comfort, you know. And they just opened up so many things for us where we've had closed doors for 5.5 years, you know.
And that was January 4th, so a month ago, we were in Cleveland for the news conference. And I think every news station was there.
Yes.
And radio station.
And radio, and I think the Plain Dealer was there as well. So your story got what it needed to be seen and heard. Have you gotten any information back that gives you hope that Amanda will be found?
At this time, I know BCI is the lead investigative team on her case, and probably the only one right now. But nothing that they can tell me right now. I've spoken with BCI agent once since January 4th. He assured me that they are working on the case, and also reminded me that they've only had the case. At that time, he called me a couple weeks. We've been missing her for over 5.5 years, and it just seems like an eternity to us. But they have to start from ground zero with the investigation. So.
But there's plenty to investigate.
There is.
And it's always been there to investigate since July 11th, I think,
Yes.
of 2017.
Correct.
When you and your daughter reported Amanda missing. You and your daughter, Shannon,
Right.
reported that Amanda was missing.
Correct.
That effort was upended in less than 24 hours, and there was no search for Amanda at that time. But there was information that could be investigated.
Correct.
Now, we're not here to complain that it wasn't investigated. That's a whole nother story, or a whole other story, about why it wasn't investigated. But it's still there to be investigated. Amanda was a victim of domestic violence.
Yes.
The person, a person of interest, a suspect. They knew who it was. Sheriff's deputies had prior contact with Amanda. They were fully aware that she was a victim of domestic violence.
Yes, there is that. There's a documented report on that too. She did tell him that Fred did hit her.
And there were other information that the sheriff's office received, all of which can be followed up on to this day.
Yes.
And are you thinking that BCI is going to follow up on that information? Have they indicated to you that they will?
I without them going into detail with me, which a lot of things I know right now they can't discuss with me, since it's a new investigation to them. So, and you know, they probably have only one chance to get this right. Okay, so I'm just trying to be patient. The whole family. I feel like sometimes I'm picking up. Our family's just falling apart here and there, and it's so hard to pick one up and then go catch the other one, you know. because
You have three
it's,
daughters.
I have 3 daughters, and it's taken its toll on our family, for sure, and plus our 4 boys, so
Amanda has 4 sons.
yes,
Josh, who's 24.
yes,
And then there's the twins.
identical twin boys.
And how old are they?
They're 20 this year. In December, they were 20 on Christmas Day.
And then the youngest is a boy.
No,
No?
the twins are the youngest, and then there's Samuel. He's the middle one.
Kind of like a middle one. isn't he?
Yeah, so, but he's only a year older than the twins. So
Okay.
he just had a birthday, January 28th, so.
And Amanda hasn't seen her sons in 5 years and 7 months. And it makes no sense.
That's right.
The initial response from the sheriff's office was that Amanda was safe and they weren't going to look for her. But now it's 5 years and 7 months later, and she hasn't spoken with her sons. Ms. Tom, what do you think happens next? What do you hope is accomplished on Friday at this rally?
I hope that it becomes more awareness of the situation. The silence over the last 5.5 years, like she said, has taken a toll on her family. So I hope the awareness brings more light, brings more tips in to the hotline number, which is 1-855-BCI Ohio. It's on our Facebook page. You can look the numbers there. There's a $10,000 reward. So we're hoping that it just brings more awareness, more support, speeds things up for the family, and we get some answers. I mean, this poor family hasn't had answers for 5.5 years. They can't have, how do you have closure? They were sent away from Huron County Sheriff's Office with nothing but questions, no answers. Do you grieve? Do you wait? And then they're told, on top of that, they're told, well, your daughter doesn't want to contact her family. When she's ready, she will.
Well, that might
So
have been
that's
true
a horrible thing to think about, on top of already wondering where Amanda
not
is.
for 5.5, not for 5 years and 7 months. It just
Amanda would not have waited a day if she was able to contact her family. Her sister and Shannon and her were so close.
well, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Amanda wasn't running away from her family. She was running away from her abuser.
Correct.
It just makes no sense. So it's disappointing that you've been through this for so long. Are you hopeful that you will get the answers? Are you hopeful, Tracy? Let's start with you. Are you hopeful that there will be answers forthcoming? I mean, now,
I am.
let's be realistic. It's been 5 years and 7 months. So you've already got a time factor. I mean, why is now different?
Well, because there's a real investigation now, so that makes a difference. I think that we're going to get answers. All the answers we get may not be the answers we want or want to hear, but we're going to have answers, and then we cope with those and deal with those answers as we get them. But you can't begin to heal until you know what you're healing.
Right.
What needs
You can't
healed.
move on.
You
I mean,
can't move on.
you really are in the same place you were on July 11th, 2017. You haven't moved from that place.
The only difference is between July 11, 2017 and today is the fact that I feel like confident I have a good team helping us. And that made the biggest difference in the world to us. And we're so appreciative. Cleveland Missing, Chief Majoy, Tracy. Tracy's been at my side from the beginning on this, since we met after your COVID was over with. But it's been a blessing to us to know someone's listening and not shutting the doors in our face and just telling us something to satisfy us for a few months until, ask again. And it's been a long process, and I just couldn't get people to listen to me because I have a law enforcement sheriff telling to public that she's safe, so,
But now it's moving in the right direction.
correct.
And we're talking about a peaceful gathering this Friday from noon until 1:30 p.m. or about there.
But people can come and go. They don't have to stay. If it's just their lunch hour and they want to come and show some support.
We'll light a candle, it's gonna be cold that day, so we understand if, they don't wanna stay out there an hour and a half.
The only reason we have the time frame, and I said that I made a promise to the family that I will be there for 1 hour and 24 minutes, because that's the entire amount of time combined that the Huron County Sheriff's Office put into looking for Amanda Dean. So I promised Carolyn that I would be there for 1 hour and 24 minutes.
Wow.
And so that's what we're gonna do. We have no intention of going inside. We have no intention of having any
And
problems.
you let the sheriff know that you were doing this. Did you hear back from the sheriff's office?
I
about-
sent him an email to let him know that we would be gathering there.
And,
what
and that
day.
was yesterday, or so you haven't heard back one way or the other. So they know you're going to be there, and it's a peaceful
That
gathering.
was just a courtesy to let them know that we're gonna be there. It's just peaceful.
And are you planning any speakers, or will there be hors d'oeuvres? No. Birthday
We-
cake. I don't mean to make light of it, but it is Amanda's birthday.
Yeah, it's Amanda's birthday. We do have some people lined up to speak, and then we put out on the Facebook page that anyone who would like to talk for 5 minutes and say positive things about Amanda, tell us what Amanda was like, their friendship,
So
whatever. they wanna
everybody's
say.
invited.
So, yeah.
Anybody who wants to speak can speak, provided it's within the range of what you're looking for,
Right.
tributes or
Yeah.
just conversation about Amanda. And it's Friday from noon to 1:30 at any time between those hours. If you want to support this, you can arrive at the Huron County Sheriff's Office behind Fisher Titus Hospital on Shady Lane Drive. You mentioned there's a Facebook page.
Yeah, there's 2 Facebook pages. One is with Shannon Dean. She started, I think, about the beginning when Amanda was missing. That's Help Find Amanda Dean. And then Joshua made a page, and his is Help Find Amanda Dean also. So
But
there's
the difference is exclamation mark at the end of
Oh.
Joshua's.
That
Okay.
separates them, but we were trying to figure out a way to combine them, but we can't do that, I guess, so.
It's been so helpful because people are giving us positive energy on the page. People are giving tips. People are contacting us with all kinds of information. Both Carolyn and myself have been contacted multiple times a day with tips and what people know, what people saw. So we've been turning those over to the BCI.
Yeah, a lot of opinions and support, though,
And
so.
some comments that align with previous information of concern
Yes.
that there was have been posted there. So the Facebook page is helpful
Yes.
to all of this. I want to mention, some of who you are, Tracy. Last year, you were named the Person of the Year by the Sandusky Register. And that was a well-deserved honor, given all the work you've done on so many things in the past 10 years. Do you want to just
Thank
mention
you.
some of those? Well, the one I remember vividly was the Sandusky County prosecutor, a group of women who were being sexually harassed and sexually victims of sexual misconduct. From the prosecutor, you advocated for them. And the prosecutor eventually was forced out of office by the governor, if I remember correctly. So you are a woman of action. Okay, so I mentioned the Tim Braun prosecutor one. What's the next one that you remember most vividly?
Oh, our first one was the elderly theft case in 2007.
And that involved a sitting
And then
Port
because
Clinton
you
mayor.
wrote so many stories, people thought that was my real job. So then they just started asking me, and it snowballed from there.
So there have been a number of different things that you've taken up. Why do you do this?
I don't know.
I think it's
I'm a glutton for punishment,
obsessive,
I guess.
compulsive.
Well, I'm grateful for it.
You're aggressively righteous. Is that inaccurate?
I'm not sure.
But you mentioned you talked with.
Decision making, when you suffer a traumatic event like that, your brain isn't functioning like it did before. And so, similar to someone who comes back from being in combat, they come back and they're not the same person. And so, people wonder, because they see Amanda, they see a beautiful woman, and these pictures of her are gorgeous, looking like a model. And they think, how did she get in that situation? And so that I think is helpful to explain how
To understand the situation.
to
And
understand.
that really
more.
goes for anyone who's experienced a traumatic event in their lives, that it causes behavior that you might not understand. And that's why getting help, you deserve to get help, and you should get help. And there is help available, and we urge you to reach out to even the Erie County Health Department if you're in Erie County, or your local clergy person, or the hospital if you need help dealing with a traumatic event in your life or someone in your life. You should seek help and know that you deserve it.
And you and I have talked before about victims of trauma and how they behave. And my problem with looking at the initial investigation when she went missing is, had that deputy understood victims of trauma, and even the sheriff himself, and we talk about how police officers don't
and more.
understand it. They don't
But
they
more
don't
and
know
more,
how.
they are social workers, whether they want to be
Right.
that or not.
So had that
That's the
deputy
role
talked
that's been
with
created.
Amanda's mother, Amanda's sister, or Amanda's son, which he did not
There was
do,
no conversation.
then he would have been given evidence that that is a situation she was in and she's at risk.
And-
She's
and-
immediately at risk.
And those questions are important questions to ask. Maybe right now is not the time to ask them, but they are important questions to ask. Why was this handled this way? But the priority right now is to find Amanda.
Right.
The recriminations can come later if they're deserved. But I've looked at these reports. I know you've looked at these reports, and you've built out timelines based on the reporting by the sheriff's office, and it's troubling. It is troubling what we see when you take a deeper dive and a deeper look at it. But that's for another time. This Friday, from noon to about 1:24. Come anytime between those hours at the Huron County Sheriff's Office. Outside. There will be a candlelight vigil. It is a birthday celebration of sorts for Amanda, who will be 42 on Friday. The register will be there in some form, and we look forward to reporting about this event. Is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap it up?
I just look forward to as many people as possible to be there for Amanda.
I remember we met in December.
Yes.
The first time was at the coffee house.
Yes.
And you seem more able to talk about this? You've had some practice with the interviews that you've done.
Yeah, it's been hard, and I've shed a lot of tears, I know, but
You're doing a good job, though.
It's,
You're doing a great job.
it's described like, because I can't believe how she can hold up, but it's described like watching a scary movie. And when the first time you watch that movie, it is scary and your heart's racing and you're jumping and you're screaming. But if you kept watching that scary movie,
you know what to expect.
you know what to expect and you can talk about it and you can breathe through it. And that's where she's at now. Because she's, instead of holding it in like she's been for 5 years, she can talk about it and bring it out. And each time
And it
she talks
helps.
about it, it gets easier. So it's not easy, but it gets easier. So
So I'm glad you were able to pair up. I know you're in good hands. She has a track record. Did you coordinate the colors today?
no, we did not.
Because I did not get the
I
phone
only
call.
have one rule for her, and I said, whenever we're together, you're not allowed to look prettier than me. And look at her, she always does.
But
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much. Again, it's Friday from noon to 1:24 p.m.